Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, March 2nd. I almost said 7th. And I have two stories that I'm going to be reading. The first one I'm going to read from is Ash of Faith. It's about this kid, Zarek, who grew up in an orphanage right next to a church, so he grew up extremely Christian. And one day he got adopted by two lesbians, Angela and Bridget. The part that I'm going to be reading from is when they get out of the orphanage and a little bit the next morning. Finally, it seemed they got out of the orphanage. Angela and her partner had gone to the orphanage to get a child, and they were coming home with a teenager that hated what they were. Bridget thought it'd be interesting. They walked across the busy streets of the city to their small tan car with Zarek in tow. Now, I know you don't quite agree with our lifestyle, but deal with it, Bridget said, turning in her seat to look at Zarek. She turned back to the wheel, her gray eyes smiling at Angela's violet as she turned. Angela knocked lightly on Zarek's door the next morning, Tuesday. "Hey, it's time to get up for school," she said softly, opening the door. He was still sleeping. She frowned and walked over to his bed, touching his arm gently to wake him. "What?" Zarek asked, his eyes barely open. "Time to get up for school," she said again, her hand still on his arm. He flinched back from her touch. Well, nice to know how highly he dislikes what we are, Angela thought. She moved back towards the door and looked over her shoulder. "You need to get up for school. It's a weekday. We can't tutor you like they did," she explained and turned back to the door. And the next one I'm going to be reading from is King's Chaos. I had started it for NaNoWriMo, but didn't exactly finish it. It takes place in a medieval fantasy-ish world, Gulthuron. The part that I'm going to be reading from is when Malachi, the main character, is camping in the woods on his way from his home to the main city. Malachi woke in the middle of the night to Fey folk surrounding him. He worried he had somehow offended the Sidhe, as he found he was unable to move. He could see Kathis out of the corner of his eye. He was calm, but he let out a low neigh when he realized Malachi was awake. He watched her as she approached, her hair strewn with bark and twigs, her clothing made of autumn-colored leaves. "Fear not, I am Asheth. You are?" she asked, kneeling near him, tilting her head curiously. "I am Malachi of Winterspeak. I meant no offense. I am just traveling to the city from my home in the mountains," he said, watching her carefully. Asheth laughed lightly. "None taken, good sir. You have shown more than proper respect to my kind and I. We are just curious creatures." "My lady, may I ask, why then am I bound?" he said, looking to the roots covering him like a blanket. "Ah, protection from the Sidhe who would mean you harm. Worry not. Once the sun rises and you can defend yourself in the light of day, they will unbind you." "Thank you, then, Lady Asheth. Sleep now, human. Methinks I shall see you again tomorrow night," she said, kissing his forehead in the way of human farewell, and rose, walking back among the Latian dryads. Alright, well, that's it for my stories. Hope you enjoyed them, and I'll see you, Charlotte, on Thursday.